WCBI News at 10 starts now.
A man Yalobusha County deputies say has been on a burglary spree is finally behind bars. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. Mark Townsend was arrested by the U.S. Marshals Service today in Hinds County. He's facing several felony charges, including aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer. At the beginning of this month, deputies began searching for Townsend after burglaries in 3 different counties. Townsend is in the Yalobusha County Jail. A man is facing a new charge and finally brought back to Mississippi to be indicted. Adrian Golden is facing kidnapping and an attempted murder charge. Calhoun County investigators served the attempted murder indictment today. Golden allegedly tried to kidnap his wife, Kimberly Sisk, in June of last year. Our Quentin Smith joins us live in the studio with more on this latest development. Quentin.
Yes, Scott, more than 12 months later and 300 miles away from the scene of the crime he's accused of committing, the long arm of the law finally catches up with Adrian Golden. He ran away in hopes of outrunning his past, but now he's back in the Magnolia State, sitting behind bars. Back in Mississippi is this man, Adrian Golden, a man who was wanted by multiple law enforcement agencies.
He was transported back this past Saturday night. MDOC had him brought back to Pontotoc County because he was on probation here from a previous charge.
The 37-year-old was captured in Texarkana, Arkansas 2 weeks ago. He'd been on the run since a domestic situation in Pontotoc County spilled over into Bruce back in June of 2017. That's when investigators say he tried to kill his wife, 31-year-old Kimberly Sisk. Golden was later spotted in a large wooded area off of Jim Beckley Drive, which at that time became the focus area for his search.
It's very frustrating when that person is not in your jurisdiction. We felt and knew from very early on that he wasn't in Calhoun County, so I'm kind of stifled on what I can do outside of my jurisdiction. So you have to depend on your fellow law enforcement officers to work as a team to get that done, which we did. It just took a while to get the right lead at the right time to be able to lay hands on him.
This is how Golden looked during the time of the alleged incident. And this is how he looked 2 weeks ago when he was arrested. Investigators say Golden tried to change his appearance to prevent anyone from noticing him. At this time, deputies are unsure how the wanted man got to Arkansas. However, one thing is certain. He's now behind bars facing 2 felony charges. And now that he's back in custody, investigators say it not only helps bring closure for them, but also for the victim.
I have spoken to her by text message Saturday, yesterday, and today, and you know she's very excited and happy. It's a closure, or one part of a closure for her. She's glad this part is behind because, you know, she has lived with this for, like I said, almost 17 months with him being on the outside. But now that he's on the inside, it's a different kind of relief for her.
Now, Golden's bond for the kidnapping charge is set at $50,000, and no bond was set for the attempted murder charge. The 37-year-old is expected to appear in front of a circuit court judge in the upcoming weeks. Scott?
All right, thanks very much, Quentin. Well, a New Albany man sits behind bars tonight after being accused of making a bomb threat at the Ashley Furniture Plant in Ecru. 26-year-old Gavin McWilliams made his initial court appearance today and is being charged with making a false bomb threat. Ecru Police Chief Matthew Stringer says they were first tipped off about this threat this past Friday. Investigators immediately evacuated the building and thoroughly searched. Stringer says during their investigation, several tips led them to McWilliams, and he was arrested Saturday. Now, we're told he was an employee at Ashley Furniture. Bond for McWilliams is set at $200,000. The 2 defendants accused of taking nearly $100,000 from a cash-strapped nursing home admit to their crimes. Dennis Nooner and Jessica Arnold admit being involved in taking the money from Saltillo Assisted Living between 2012 and 2015. It became a federal offense because the facility had a federal mortgage and was not meeting its payments at the time the management was taking that money. Nooner pleaded to equity skimming, while Arnold admitted she was aware of the scheme but said nothing. A third defendant, Arthur Webster, is scheduled to have a change of plea hearing on Thursday. Well, time now to get a first look at our forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Hey there, Keith.
Hey Scott, a great day today. Here's our Alpha Insurance time lapse from Columbus. This evening you can see some of those wispy cirrus clouds, and this will a burst of pink right there with the sun set about 6 o'clock tonight. Temperatures right now, well, we settle down into the 50s in many spots here. Nice and quiet, low 50s to mid 50s across our region. Generally clear conditions already in some spots into the upper 40s, low 50s tonight. Mostly sunny and warm tomorrow. We are in the low 80s. It is going to be a great late summer type day, even though it is fall. Storms return Wednesday evening, though. More on that in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks very much, Keith. Well, the first of the funerals for the 11 members of the Tree of Life Synagogue who were killed in a Sabbath service shooting will be held tomorrow. CBS's Nikki Batiste has the latest.
Under gray skies and a heavy cloud of sadness, family, friends, and strangers continue to leave flowers for the victims of Saturday's Tree of Life synagogue shooting. All 11 are being remembered for their warm hearts. The youngest was 54. At 97, Rose Mallinger was the eldest, but so full of life and energy. Barton Schachter, former Tree of Life synagogue president, knew her well.
She's emblematic of this group. Everybody was nice. They were warm to strangers. They were reaching out to everybody. They were there for a purpose.
The Simons, Sylvan and Bernice, lost their lives in the very place they were married 62 years ago. 65-year-old Richard Gottfried had just celebrated his 38th wedding anniversary. Daniel Stein was a newly minted grandfather. Melvin Wax was a pillar at the Tree of Life Synagogue, performing many roles there. 69-year-old Irving Younger was in real estate and also a youth football and baseball coach. Joyce Feinberg, 75, was a mother of 2 sons and a proud grandmother. Funeral services will be held tomorrow for 66-year-old Jerry Rabinowitz, a family doctor who always took the time to check in on his patients, and 2 special needs brothers, Cecil and David Rosenthal, who shared an unbreakable bond.
We will honor them in some way that distinguishes them to get beyond this atrocious act and show the world that these folks did not die in vain.
Nikki Batiste, CBS News, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Republican Senators Roger Wicker and Cindy Height-Smith, they were in Northeast Mississippi today. We asked them what actions needed to be taken to help prevent crimes like Saturday's mass murder at the Pittsburgh Jewish Synagogue and the recent rash of pipe bombs sent to high-profile Democrats.
America needs a revival, no doubt. The horrific things that are happening are so tragic, and you just think, what's the mindset here? What are we producing here? But we certainly need a revival. We need the investigations. We need for justice to take place right now.
What we need to do is we need to do a better job of identifying the really troubled people, and I think both of these individuals certainly had an emotional problem, and perhaps even worse than that. If we could identify the 1 in a million misfit who's going to do this sort of thing, it would be a lot better.
The accused gunman in the Tree of Life shooting, Robert Bowers, appeared in court today. He faces hate crime charges.
And an early heads up for the time change coming up this weekend. Sunday morning, set your clocks back 1 hour. By Sunday evening, the sun's going to set at 4:59, awfully early. Your full forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Sunny and warm on Tuesday. As we mentioned, low 80s likely around here. Some storms here Wednesday evening, Wednesday night. Some could be locally heavy. Cooler weather returns later this week after this bout of late summer-like heat. Our time lapse from Columbus Tupelo, Verna at Durham's Pharmacy, downtown Louisville, Mississippi, again shows the setting sun, some of those wispy clouds this evening. A pretty nice day. We topped out in the 70s. We'll add about 10 degrees or so tomorrow in many spots. And temperatures right now in the upper 40s in Huntsville, 51 in Columbus, 61 in Jackson, warmer off to our southwest. We look back to the northwest, though. There's an area of low pressure. The jet stream is dipping down just a little bit now. It's really going to expand as it moves off to the southeast. Now, it'll give us a chance for some of the stronger storms later this week. Let's talk about Wednesday evening trick-or-treating. And it looks like most of the heavy storm activity will wait until the ghosts and goblins are safely indoors. Well, it's going to be a warm Halloween. Temperatures in the 70s to around 80 degrees. Wednesday morning, some clouds on the increase. Southerly breezes pick up. It's going to be a breezy and warm day. Temperatures well into the 70s. Now, there could be a few passing showers from time to time. This is Futurecast picking up on that. But by the evening, most of the heavy activity should be toward west and northwest. As we go throughout the course of the evening and Wednesday night, by early morning Wednesday, or Thursday rather, about 2 a.m., you can see this line of showers and storms snaking across our area. Some gusty wind possible with that, in addition to some very heavy rainfall. Those are the main threats here. Maybe some isolated bursts of damaging wind, some heavy rain. The tornado threat is low, not zero, so of course we'll be babysitting things here. The hail threat fairly low. A typical type situation for us during the fall and winter time seasons. We are looking at the potential for 1 to 3 inches of rain around here, so it's been dry of late, and we'll see a little bit of moisture in all spots here later this week. That is on Wednesday night. Tomorrow, your Tuesday, tons of sun. 50 or so at 7 o'clock. Jackets needed initially, and then by late morning you can ditch the jackets as we get well into the upper 70s, but probably more in the way of lower 80s here across northeast Mississippi and west Alabama. A very warm day. Winds from the south gradually picking up at about 5 to 15, even stronger winds on Wednesday ahead of this front. There's the front that will come on into the picture here as we get into your Wednesday. It will blow through Wednesday night. Cooler weather behind it. We get back into the 60s. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. We are looking at 82 tomorrow, 80 or so on Wednesday afternoon before the storms. Upper 60s Thursday, low 60s return Friday. There could be some showers in there. We're going to keep the upcoming weekend dry with seasonal highs in the 60s.
It was a great night for some Halloween, or should we say Halloween fun in Starkville. The Starkville Parks and Rec hosted the second annual Halloween Festival at the Sportsplex. Well, there was something for everyone, including trunk or treat, games, bounce houses, food, music, and a Halloween egg hunt. United Way also collected canned goods to help those in need throughout the coming months. Well, the Friday before Halloween had some scary good football. Tom looks at the top 5 plays from Week 11 coming up a little later in sports. Welcome back, everyone. It's officially deer season here in the Magnolia State. Hunters waking up early, hoping to get a big trophy. We take a look at some hunting safety tips in our Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Maggie Alexander, a trauma nurse at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Tonight, I want to talk to you about how to avoid a hunting-related accident when hunting from a tree stand. The #1 cause of hunting-related injuries isn't the firearms themselves, it's falls from tree stands. Many falls happen when tree stands are poorly constructed or when old wooden stands come apart or become detached from the tree. Because of this, it's safest to avoid using homemade tree stands. If you do use a wooden stand, replace any broken or rotten lumber and inspect all bolts and fasteners, making sure they're secure and in good condition. You should place your stand only in healthy, mature trees that have strong limbs. Remove any logs or stones from the base of the tree to reduce injury in case of a fall. When climbing into a tree stand, maintain 3 points of contact at all times. Remember to climb above the level of the platform and step down onto it. Wear non-slip boots and place a non-slip covering over the floor of the stand. Never put all of your weight onto a single limb or part of the tree stand, and never fall asleep in the tree stand. Most importantly, you should always use a full body safety harness when sitting, standing, or climbing into a tree stand. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, when we'll discuss the importance of wearing a full body safety harness when hunting from a tree stand.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle.
Well, 5 of the best plays we saw this past Friday night getting the recognition they deserve. See those top plays coming up next in sports.
Here's WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel.
The best of the best from Week 11 of the End Zone. It's that time again to take a look back on the plays that made us go, wow. Our top 5 plays, let's get into them. Number 5, Nanawaya's Shy Moore. He had a big touchdown run to start the game, but check out this one from Shy. Skirt, puts on the brakes, makes a man miss, and waltzes in for the touchdown. Nanawaya, the winners. Number 4, Itawamba AHS. Ike Chandler, right up the gut. See you later. We like Ike. Be like Ike. 60-yard house call. Itawamba AHS into the playoffs with the W. To number 3, Shannon. Jordan Gilliland to Omarion Guyton. Check out this catch on the sideline. This is actually an NFL catch. We'll take a quick replay of this one. He gets 1 foot down and the tap right there, a thing of beauty. Shannon, the winners. Number 2, Starkville Academy in the postseason. You're going to need runs like this from C.J. Jackson. Bulldozing through 2 people, makes another miss. He's into the end zone for the statement touchdown. Starkville Academy was your winner. And then number 1, to the Houston Hilltoppers, Bobby Townsend off the screen. It's a slow developing play. Get the blockers out in front. Makes one man miss, another man miss. He still has blockers. Churning upfield. Big time run on the screen play from Bobby Townsend for the 6 points. Houston winners in a big way that way. And you're also taking home the top play of Week 11. Mississippi State's offense looked the part in the win over Texas A&M, in part due to the play calling. Joe Moorhead says the game represented himself as a play caller, being aggressive and staying with the balance. Moorhead says after self-evaluating himself after the LSU game and speaking with the team Friday before the A&M game, it came down to not trying to be so perfect.
I was trying to game plan and call the perfect play, every single time, and that's not just realistic. And when you're trying to make everything perfect every single time, then the results weren't in our favor. And when just went back to game planning it, calling it aggressively, and doing what we do well, and staying, dictating the tempo of the game rather than reacting to the tempo of the game. I think that's something that was an element that may have been missing at times in the middle part of the season, and one that won't be missing moving forward.
Mississippi State unveiling these new jerseys today. The uniforms will pay tribute to MSU alum and World War II veteran G.V. Sonny Montgomery. The new fit will be worn during the Arkansas game on November 17th. Montgomery became the 3rd person in the U.S. to have a military fleet named after him and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by George W. Bush in 2005. Ole Miss is back from the bye, hoping to turn its season around with a win over South Carolina Saturday. The Rebels hope to have a similar November as last year, winning 3 out of 4 to close 2017. With still no word on the NCAA appeal against the second bowl ban, Matt Luke says the Rebels' motivation will have to come from within the locker room.
Our motivation is playing for each other and just building this program and taking pride in the fact that through all this stuff, you're supposed to be not very good last year and you won 6 games, and the same thing this year and you're 5-3 after 8 games. So just taking the pride and, hey, we're still here and we're not going anywhere. And I think that having that pride and the guys playing for each other and fighting through adversity, to me, that's very, very special. And again, I think a lot of pride in the program, a lot of pride in our guys playing for each other.
Taking a look at the schedule for this Saturday of college football, South Carolina and Ole Miss, the early kick at 11 a.m. on the SEC network. And then another big day of college football right here on WCBI. Number 6 Georgia at number 11 Kentucky. That game at 2:30. That's your de facto SEC East championship game. The winner of that one more than likely stamps their way into Atlanta at the end of the season. Then Louisiana Tech at Mississippi State. That's at 6:30 p.m. on the SEC network. And then the big one. Possible game of the century. We'll see what happens. Number 1 Alabama at number 4 LSU. You always know those two always provide great games. That's at 7 o'clock right here on WCBI. Also, in case you didn't hear about it today, Mississippi State travels to Tuscaloosa next week. That game will be 2:30 on WCBI as well. So a lot of really good football you can watch right here on WCBI. This is our place for college football. That's it for sports. Last look here, weather is next.
Here's your 7-day forecast. We have some low 80s tomorrow. A very nice day considering it is late October. It's going to feel just like September. Around 80 on Wednesday, Halloween day. The heaviest storms will likely wait until after trick-or-treating into Wednesday night. We'll keep you updated on that. Cooler for the weekend.
I may actually have to switch the air on tomorrow.
You may
Maybe.
have to, actually.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.